What's up, everybody? It's your boy Deadpool 245-277. Okay, that was weird. I was live streaming for like almost 30 minutes and it didn't even capture nothing. And I was kind of pissed, so I'm kind of starting over. So, hello guys, I'm back. But this is to let you guys know I've been under the weather. I've been going in and out of hospital, but I'm doing a-okay so far. My wife is taking care, doing her best to help me out. So I was gonna do Final Fantasy, but to me it's like, okay, let me just do this game real quick, just so I can show you guys how I have it,
Spider arms. Don't tell Pete, but you look cool.
But I want to let you guys know that I am a-okay. And I want to make sure you guys understood that I just took a break and I'm trying to get the Nintendo Switch too. Try and get that one. Yeah, I'm trying to get the Nintendo Switch. Because I'm actually interested in getting it. I saw the live stream,
Another nest.
A few months ago.
These things are giving me nightmares.
And
time to clean this place up.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I was talking to some of my buddies around,
Back up!
I'm gonna start my original programming. I just took a hiatus and everything. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling like the selection and everything? There's a lot of information with that, and I was just trying to keep up like what to do.
better check out that nest, even though it freaks me out.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
Whoa, that was messed up. Are you a doctor?
No, an EMT.
Spider-Man was hitting you pretty hard.
Hey, if that's what he had to do to get it off me, I'm grateful.
Wow. Now. Perfect view. So yeah, as I was saying, because I didn't realize how it wasn't working. Um, Good news. I am planning on getting the Switch. I know a lot of people will probably be like, "Why are you buying a Switch 2? Blah blah blah. It might be bricked. Yada yada yada." I get it. You know, it's fair game. Like I completely understand that that happened, and buddy, me and him we were talking like for hours before I had to go do something. We were talking for hours trying to break it down, and I get what people are saying, like, okay, why would Nintendo do that? That's rigged. That's kind of like, that kind of sucks. Why would they do that? I get it. Like I do get it, but you gotta understand their standpoints too. You can't just sit there and be like, you know, you can't just sit there and just think about me all the time, you know. And you gotta understand that. You gotta understand their standpoint is kind of like, look, they're trying to keep their system at bay because there's gonna be a lot of people that like to brick stuff, which is fair. Why you can brick it, but you gotta really understand that they're spending like millions to billions of dollars on this thing, like on in anything, cell phones, TVs, cars. You know, they all have the same system that they use. They have the same system where they'll spend so much money on this stuff, and then in the reserve of returns, um, they like it'll give them a loss. What I'm trying to say, they'll lose a lot of money, but they're gonna regain it back by doing all this. So it's kind of like, okay, that made a lot of sense because we really, really think about it. It's like, yeah, that's what they were trying to do. And consoles do cost money. They cost a lot of money to manufacture, and it costs a lot of money to keep it stable for good 7 or 8 years or so. You know, Nintendo is on their eighth one, um, but after the announcement, it's like, yeah, the sixth one is old. Yeah, it's 8 years too old. With so it's time for an upgrade. Yeah, they could really want, they could just waited for like another, waited later on, but they didn't, because I guess when they're showing I guess what I heard from the Switch 2, one of my buddies of mine broke it down that I guess they're showing it to the high journalists. They were showing them the Switch 2 from the high journalists, and all of a sudden some idiot sat there and I guess took a picture of it and then posted on Twitter or something. Like some idiot just posted on Twitter of the Switch 2, you know, like, and so far, so forth. And then Nintendo had no choice but to be like, "Whoa, day." Someone took a picture and sent it, and then the whole internet pretty much what I'm trying to say. The whole internet blew up. It just blew up. So it was one of those like, oh snap. So they blew up so big to a point it's like, oh damn. So it's kind of like they just went ahead and did that, and then after that it was kind of like, oh well, and then they had no choice but to did they had no choice but to release the trailer for it. For the Switch 2. They didn't have a choice. So because since that's confirmed and that's what it is, that's what it looked like, and they just thought, okay, here it is, and they showed it, and it's kind of like, oh dang, that sucks for Nintendo because they had no choice but to show it because some guy literally leaked the Switch 2 before I guess they have scheduled to announce it later on a later date. And then show it, but they had no choice but to sit there. Okay, here you go, and it's like, here's more information in a couple months, and it's like, okay, well, and now we got it. Now we know. It's kind of like, okay, what do we gain out of this? And you got to think positive here. You got to kind of have to think positive a little bit, where that the Switch 2 is kind of like his own thing, And do I hate the Switch 2? No. Do I like the idea of it? Not really, but there's nothing I can do anyway. You can sit there and be like, oh, well, you're just being a fanboy of the Switch 2. I'm not, because you just don't mess it up. Don't break the system. Don't crack the system just so you want your own benefit of it. Like, sorry but not sorry, just don't do it. It's that simple, just don't do it.
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know. Just hold the
So
again?
Yeah, to me it's kind of like you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's just kind of like there's nothing to say about it. To me and my wife, we're still gonna get it regardless. We're still gonna get it. So I'm not gonna sit there and tell them don't get it. It's like, if you want to get it, you get it. And we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna try to make it work and funnable, not just kind of like,
Can't let up! Yeah. There's people inside these things!
It's crazy.
Come on!
Oh gosh darn it. Yeah, I almost had it.
Can't let up! There's people inside these things! Keep coming!
Oh man, how are we gonna do this? I have to skip that one. I'll just do this one real quick.
Another nest. Let's clear this nest, spider style. Can't let up! There's people inside these things!
I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with the Switch. I mean, like, well, put it this way, I'll get it when I get it. You know, I know there's gonna be a lot of opinions with there's a lot of opinions with everything. You know, with the whole thing with the tariffs, and then the whole thing with like the Xbox raising their price. You know, so it's kind of like, look, we're all screwed no matter what. PlayStation president for PlayStation Entertainment president, well, PlayStation president in general, sat there and announced something, and I guess a lot of people got mad. But to me, it's just kind of like, don't think it as like, you know, a bad thing, you know. Think it as a positive thing. They're changing, you know. Life changed. Everything started getting more expensive, and a lot of people are not buying the consoles like they were 20 some years ago. Because when you think about it, because we think about it, y'all, you know, look what happened back then 20 years ago. You can just make a console back then, and during that evolution time, while DVD was coming out, you know, and TVs are getting way more better, you know, during that time, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. And now we look at it, it's like, you know, if you look at it now, fast forward now, it's like half of these games barely get up there. You know, half of these consoles barely get up like it is today. Um, PS4 only made 80 some million, almost 90 million. Xbox only made like what, 60 million? You know, barely up there. The Switch made over 100, like 150 million for that, and that lasted long. You know, most people might think like, well, you know, this is that, but people just gotta understand that it's like, um, they don't. It's not that they don't make consoles like they used to. It's like they make great consoles. I mean, look, PC is also great too. PC is awesome. Consoles are awesome, but it's just like, what are you gonna do with it? You know, what are you gonna do with it? You know, you can't just sit there and just, oh, I'm just gonna buy one console and then tell everybody to go get one. Everyone got their own strict opinion. When I got the PS3 back then, I got it because, you know, I heard about the free online stuff, and when I found out that I can play free online without worrying about anything, I'm good with that. I was like, oh, I don't have to pay online. All I gotta do is make an account at that time, you know, and then just set it up. Cool, I'm good, you know. And then of course I knew that, you know, later on gonna have to pay for it, you know, which it makes sense for you, you know. That's the thing that, you know, you got, you know, you gotta pay for it. Sometimes a lot of things cannot be free forever. So when the PS3 came out, yeah, I was abusing the heck out of that console to a point. It's kind of like, you know, it, it's one of those like, you got to really understand that, you know, you got to really understand that, and it is what it is. So no matter what console or PC, I always try to make it where, um, okay, you got a reason to get it, you know. You just got it because you just got it. And sometimes people just be like, oh, I just got it because, you know, I just want it. It's like, okay, that's fair. That's completely fair. You know, a lot of people don't see that. You know, a lot of people might think like, yeah, a lot of people might think that, oh, well, this sucks, and yeah, it's just kind of like, this is, it's annoying type thing, you know, it's annoying. But in the end, I'm gonna get the Switch 2. My wife will get the Switch 2. My Abby is also part definitely gonna get the Switch 2 on top of that as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, she'll get it. You know, we'll all get it to make sure that it runs. And yeah, so the Switch 2, oh man, it's gonna be lit. We got a lesson. We got 1 weekend left. We got a week left. To a weekend, a few days left. We got a weekend, a few days left to kind of like get it all ready up. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on. And then tomorrow, I gotta go back to work, and I gotta go to the hospital, and gotta go back to work on top of that. And then yeah, so this week gonna be a busy week, but this time I'm just gonna I'm gonna rest making videos while I'm recovering and stuff. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll just go from there. So yeah, I'm just kind of just gonna do that stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know it's kind of like a short one, but hope you guys enjoy. So please leave a like, please leave a like, leave a comment. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Definitely on my channel. I'll see you guys more. Final Fantasy 7. I'm pretty much almost. I just gotta find cases and do all that stuff, and then go from there. So have a good rest of you guys' night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I'm just gonna power through it to the end. Like always, yeet!